Why should you join the Livingston County Republican Party?
Why, you ask?
Yeah, why?
Why join?
The Republican Party is the party of common sense.
Common sense.
Republicans support the Constitution.
Republicans protect your rights.
We fight to keep your children safe.
We fight to keep boys and men out of girls' and women's sports.
We fight to keep boys out of girls' restrooms.
We fight for you.
What does the Republican Party do?
We help Republican candidates get elected.
Why is it important to elect Republicans?
Why is that important?
Why? Tell me, why is that important?
Livingston County is one of the safest counties in Michigan.
Livingston County has one of the lowest crime rates in the state of Michigan.
Livingston County has the lowest tax millage rate of all 83 counties.
Republicans work to balance the budget.
Republican legislators vote against raising your taxes.
Republican elected officials believe in transparency.
Republican clerks run elections with integrity.
Republican trustees protect your rights.
Republicans support our veterans.
Who can join?
If you are conservative, we want you in our party.
All conservatives are welcome at our table.
Join our activities.
Join the fun.
Become a member.
Join us now.
Hi, I'm Deb Drick, chair of Livingston County Republican Party. Our conservative message has been very well received in Livingston County, and I'm so happy to share with you that people are stepping up right and left to help. The only thing's missing is you. Come join our mission. Come join our fun. Go to livingstonrepublicans.com and click join. You'll be glad you did.
Someone once said, "Where your treasure goes, there also will be your heart." What kind of world do you want to invest in? Do your investments fund industries that tempt people to harm relationships? What if you could be more intentional with your money? What if your investments built content that enriched others' minds? Jason Huntley, CFP, has been guiding families for 30 plus years to plan, invest, and build for the next generation. Scan the QR code now to make that first step to investing intentionally.
Good evening and happy very last day of March, and I am happy to see March go. I think we are all in agreement on that. And we have a very special and exciting show tonight. We have back, you remember 8 months ago, this gentleman showed up here at our door unknown to anybody and announced on this podcast that he was going to run for Attorney General. And Doug Lloyd took a 63% win at the MRP endorsement convention last weekend. So I told him it's only right. He started off here. He might as well kick off the rest of his thing here. So Doug, thanks for coming back out and welcome back and congratulations. We're all excited for you.
Thank you, Deb. 8 months and 1 week.
That's it.
That's
right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Today, 8 months and 1 week ago, we announced on your podcast, and we have been moving ever since. And yeah, wow, wasn't that convention amazing?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I was, I think I heard somebody later say, somebody wasn't there, was saying something about no energy or something, and I thought, boy, that somebody wasn't there, because you hear my voice from hooting and hollering over this thing. It was very energetic, very electric, and all in one vote. You won with 63%. Of course, you were going to be one vote anyway, but then Tony Verlini takes, out of a three-way race, takes 55%. Unheard of. I mean, has it happened before? Possibly, but not since I've been going. So that's it was quite an event. So, all right, 8 months and 1 week. What are some highlights from that? Where do you think? What like memories can you share that where maybe, because you started off behind? Your opponent had been out for months, and then you kind of showed up and introduce yourself, and so it was, you had a hill to climb there. So what are some of the highlights maybe that, like, good memories or positive signs that you were doing, that your campaign was catching traction here?
I think you got to start just from here, day one, right?
Okay.
I mean, I had the privilege of meeting you, and and getting to know you, and you were one of the first of many of people that just offered their support and their knowledge. man, that was so important. And, as you know my son Nick really well.
Yes.
Nick, a lot of people have gotten to know Nick over these 8 months, and Nick was one that, just immediately, my family was like, we're all in, Dad. And Nick was like, I want to do this with you. And I have been blessed
Yes, you
to
have.
to have, my son with me traveling. What are we, 72 counties now that we accomplished to get through in 8 months. We're like at 40,000 miles, over 200 events. It's just, but Nick's been there with me, and if he couldn't be there, it was because he was doing double duty at another event. And
Right.
so that's just a highlight of having him. And then just the great people. When I started out, a room was just a bunch of faces that I didn't know. By the time I got to the convention, there were so many people that I knew that, I had met from, Menominee, all the way down to Branch County, everywhere in the state, we knew people. And so I kind of figured I must have shook 2,000 hands this last weekend of just, saying hello to people. And between Friday night and, at our event that we had there, how packed that was.
Oh, it was jammed.
Yeah, just to see all the people and, the smiling faces and, and still, everywhere I go, I don't get 30,000-foot questions. I get in the weed questions,
Yes, you do. I've heard them.
which drives Nick nuts, right? Because he wants me to give a 1-minute answer so that, he can post it. And I'm like, well, it's a 7-minute answer, Nick. And so, because that's how deep people want to go. But I think they want to see that, right?
It.
Yeah, they want to, they want to see the questions answered. And I think that's what we brought to the table. Yeah, I think that's what Forlini brings to the table is just that, knowledge of us actually doing the job and the ability to actually talk about it. Because I think people really want to talk about it, understand, and know that the people that they're bringing forward are going to want to fix the problems.
Mm-hmm. So what challenges, what kind of challenges did you run into as you, I mean, I'm talking, extra challenges. I mean, when you start out behind, everything's a challenge. So.
Right. Well, I mean, I think the first thing is, I remember a conversation with Deb Direct saying that I talk like an attorney. I mean, that's right. I mean, you go back and watch that podcast 8 months, ago, and yeah, I sound too much like an attorney, and so.
No, I think what I said was you're talking to attorneys.
Right.
You need to be an attorney to understand you.
And so, really bringing that down, that the ability to just, be able to talk to everyone. I thought I had the ability to do that, being an attorney for, 34 years and, sitting in a courtroom for the last 30, I believed I had that ability, but I really had to work on that. And another thing that really was different was I had to talk about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I think all of us can agree that that's probably the hardest thing.
It's awkward.
Yeah, it really is.
Because we're always taught, don't talk about yourself. Talk about the other guy.
Really.
Yeah.
And that's what I was taught to do. So to get up there and have to talk about yourself and, so that was a new learning experience to actually do that. And there were so many things that we kind of had to learn just how to do it. And it took us a little bit to get into our groove, and it took a little bit for people to figure out who we were. But I had such a great team. We were constantly putting out emails, giving our policy ideas, letting people know who we were and what we were thinking. Nick did a fabulous job on our social media.
He did. He was on top of everything.
Yeah. As far as making sure that we got, that we got the stuff out there, letting people know where we had been, where we're going, so people had a chance to actually get and meet us. And all of that, I think, paid off in the end because people saw that, we weren't going to slow down. We were going to really make sure that we got out there and covered the state because I tell you, that's what people want. They want to know that that your state candidate's going to care about the entire state. It can't just be a little portion of it. It's got to be everywhere.
That's right.
And so, that really became a thing. And then to just see, county by county, people just, getting onto the train with us, that was a blessing that we never took for granted. We just kept trying to work harder.
You did. You were just a snowball that just kind of, started off small and you just worked your way down that hill. And as you went, it just was growing and growing.
Right.
So this is starting to move quick here. So I don't want to miss anybody. So There's Rob. Doug Lloyd for Attorney General. And I believe Doug was one of the first people that endorsed you. He scared us all. You got up and spoke at a 2A. He came down and said, "That's it. This is the guy. I'm endorsing you right here."
Oh yeah, you know what? And I tell everybody about that. Having Rob step out, at that, at Livingston 2A.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen him do that either.
Yeah, and and endorse me. I mean, that was such an honor. And Rob's been such, and Anna Maria have been such, advocates during this campaign that, that's friendship. That's what I talk about, right? These are friendships that I've developed that, as Nick and I went through this, it's like we've met so many great people that, we're going to stay in contact no matter what. We were blessed to get, what happened on Saturday, but we knew that we've just developed friendships.
Well, that's just the beginning, mister. Yeah. All right. And then, of course, the single first thing ever. Mark Ashley Price, greetings from Highland Park. Hello, Mark. Glad to have met you finally. Glad to see you won that award. He won the Grassroots Award. I don't know. Well, you were off being congratulated.
Did he? Was he wearing his shirt? Was he wearing the Doug shirt? Because he wore it all weekend.
Yeah. Well, he was, but he won he was recognized for Grassroots for his district. So
yes, Mark was one of the first questions on this program 8 months ago was from Mark.
Yeah.
And Mark and I got to talk in Oakland County. And we've just developed developed a friendship with, and it's just been a blessing to have Mark.
I always tease him as he's exactly 50% of the Wayne County Republicans. But anyway, so then we have another congratulations here. Okay, and then there's Mark again. That's my main man, along with Anthony Ferlini. That's you, apparently.
That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
All right. Let's see what else we got here. Yes, he does have your t-shirt, and it was a great blessing that you guys both won. All right, so here's somebody else here. Oh, Rayanne. Oh, I got to meet Rayanne. That was really nice to meet. I'm excited for you, Doug. You'll be an awesome AG. Agreed.
See, and once again, right, that's West Side over there,
right,
with Rayanne, and just getting to know them, and and just the excitement and the hard work that they bring.
Yes, I watched her on social media. She did a fabulous job. She had great things to say. Yeah. It was very nice to meet you. I have a question for Mr. Lloyd. Will he visit Arabic and Muslim communities in Wayne County to Dearborn?
Yeah,
you represent them.
Right. That's my goal. Is the Attorney General's job is to represent all 10 million people in the state. That's what's got to be remembered. So yes, Hussein. You know what? Let's get together. Love an invite down there. Love the opportunity to meet the community. And let's have a serious conversation, because I think that's how we all get better together, is if we actually sit down and actually talk. So love to do that.
Great idea. Mr. Future Attorney General, I finally met Chairwoman Deb and her assistant in person at your party. My assistant? That's our prosecuting attorney. That wasn't an assistant. She's our Livingston County prosecutor. Trust me, she is no assistant of mine.
I'm sure Carolyn is loving that now, hearing that.
Carolyn, pay no attention to the man behind the thing over here. Okay. Nice burgundy tie. That's not burgundy, it's red. What is wrong with you? All right, here we go. Go Doug. Meredith Herman. And Mindy. I met Mindy. I had the pleasure of meeting Mindy too. Nicholas Lloyd totally kicked butt for his first statewide campaign. He was and is awesome. Yes, ma'am, he is. Mr. Guppy. Doug Lloyd did the work. Mr. Guppy, what'd you cook for dinner tonight? That's how I usually start. Doug Lloyd did the work. He will help carry our ticket. I agree. Yes, it's no surprise you won. Your party on Friday was a full room. Kelly Powell, welcome to Livingston and a huge congratulations. Thanks, Kelly. Apple fritter seal of approval for summer.
Yeah, I got the first apple seal.
I saw that.
Apple fritter seal of approval.
I'm not gonna lie, I was jealous.
Yeah.
All right.
I got to figure out what I'm going to do Saturday to try to compete with Randy on his weekly donuts. So we'll figure that out.
Oh, we can figure that out.
Yeah.
You want to take him some chili?
Yeah. There we go.
You haven't had Randy. You haven't had the bunny seasoning chili yet. Knock your socks off. Okay. Hi, Doug. Jeff and Bonnie from Roscommon County Republican Party watching. Hi, Doug hi, Jeff and Bonnie. Nice to meet you. Glad you're watching.
Yeah, Jeff
Welcome
and Bonnie.
to the show.
Great, great people, great forum event up in Houghton Lake. We had to do some treacherous weather to get there between snow and ice, but that was a
Yeah, there
jam-packed
you
room. There were serious Republicans. Sunday afternoon, jam-packed room.
Wow.
Jeff and Bonnie brought it home, having all the candidates up there to speak. And it's important, right? We got to tell everybody in the state who we were. And Jeff and Bonnie did a great job.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the right side, Jeff and Bonnie. Ron, I'm really looking forward to you winning so you can take a little field trip to Lansing, maybe do a little light sightseeing at a few of these companies I visit twice a week. Let's just say the diversity there isn't exactly coming from the HR brochure. It's like a United Nations meeting on the shop floor. Now, I can't name names. I enjoy staying employed. But I can say you might want to bring a translator or 5 and a notepad. You're going to have a lot of observations. Yeah, Ron, I think, talks about he feels like he has run into a bunch of places where they have a bunch of illegal aliens.
I think Ron and I actually had a chance to have a conversation. Be happy to have more with him.
Well, thank you, Rayanne, but I don't want to say too much about me. Doug gets mad at me when I talk about me on his show. So.
Boy, I tell you, are we going to start this already? We're really in early, Deb, to go that route.
I am proud to, Carolyn, I was proud to support you and Doug and vote for Doug Lloyd for Attorney General, and I would be honored to be your assistant.
I was going to say, there she is, right there. There's the assistant.
She was talking about my assistant, not yours.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, she's not mine. She's the leader of Livingston
awesome.
County.
She is awesome.
Corned beef and cabbage.
Corn and cabbage tonight.
Oh, nice.
Bunny seasoning or no? That's the big question here. Okay. Corey Woodby. Congratulations, Doug, watching from Ingham County.
There you go. Another solid 7th district right there.
That is. That's even more solid because that would be my middle child, oldest son.
Yeah. Oh, would it be?
I did reproduce.
There you go. Well, we're glad to know that.
Yes, no, Corey's solid. He'd be the apple to the tree. When you meet him, you'll get it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he's also very, very conservative. So, well, yeah, so it is. So I mean, this is, you can see the excitement here, in just the comments coming up. Coming through here, and it's so let's talk a minute here about what are the next steps. You take the short steps, and I mean, obviously the next steps is win, right? But okay,
sure.
So there's going to be some steps in between the steps.
Right.
So what would be the next steps, would you think?
Well, I mean, are we talking campaign wise? Is that what we're thinking? Or
I didn't think, I wasn't. I mean, if you want to tell me about if you're going to go to get a haircut or something, I'll listen. But I think
I just got a haircut last week.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, Paloma, you did a great job. If you're watching, thank you very much. Got a lot of compliments on the haircut.
Okay.
So, we didn't put the cart before the horse for this. It was all about making sure we got to the delegates, and we're going to continue to do that. But now, we get to broaden our horizons a little bit. And I'm going to tell you that for me, it's really about, putting some policy ideas out there. And I'm going to be taking them from the people that I've been talking to, these last 8 months. There's a lot of things that concern people. And so when we think of those, I really want to, see about taking those and putting them into policy. And that doesn't mean you all of a sudden need to go spend more money, or that you got to change things in regards to asking the legislature to make accommodations. No, it just means we got to make an alignment in that office, and we got to start focusing on the things that are important to Michigan. And and that's really what I want to see, and I think that's what people want to see. There's so many conversations that every community was different. What was important to them, and so I really want to start nailing some of those down and being able to express those to everybody now, as to how we're going to be different. We've got 3 weeks before we'll even see what the Democrats bring forward,
right?
And we're going to make sure that we're bringing forward what is important to the citizens, to all of us, because we got to remember we're here for all 10 million people.
Yeah. So, and I'd heard you, I did hear you say a couple of hundred times probably that, it was a common thing I heard you say that, bring me evidence of the crime and I will prosecute, everything from will you do this or will you do that? Or I think I made a joke one time about if a blonde on a Tuesday on a 70-degree day in this city does this and, plus this and this. And I've heard that. So tell me, it seems so simple, yet it sort of covers everything. Bring me bring me evidence of the crime and you'll prosecute. Kind of talk about that if you would.
Sure. I mean, that's the I think the frustrating part for people is that people believe that they have seen things, across the state over the time that the Democrats have been in charge. And so for me, it's all about let's bring that evidence forward. If it's there, then let's investigate it and let's be able to actually go ahead and prosecute. That's what your local prosecutors do every day. They receive the facts and evidence from their local police agencies and then they review it. And if they're able to actually charge a crime, that's what they do. Shouldn't be that difficult at the state level. But yet, for some reason, things want to get partisan. People want to only care about the things that matter to them. And so I think we need to just get back to those simple words. Bring me the facts and evidence, and if they're there, we're going to prosecute. I think everyone can understand that, and it's not a hard concept to go forward with.
It also it's not discriminatory. It doesn't mean, well, bring me the facts and evidence on only these things.
Right.
It's just common sense.
Yeah.
And geez, I don't think anybody here watching is going to agree that we seriously lacked common sense in that office. So it's going to be just such a breath of fresh air to see you bring that back to us.
Yeah, I think common sense is really important. It's something that we really need to think about. But yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated to do this. We just doing the right thing. I think we all understand how to do that, and so we should get back to that idea of do the right thing.
Amazing, I know. So what we have here, let's see. Where are we? Doug and Nick drove everywhere through any conditions to win this. Nick is a rock star. We are all in agreement.
See, and isn't that funny? I mean, Nick is the guy. I mean, I give the example that I believe we were at one event and we walked in and 4 people walked up to speak to Nick before they did me because they all knew Nick and they'd all been talking to Nick, and I'm like, that's a proud dad moment, right? That he knows the room.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
Then we have Randy. I think Doug's after campaign event dinners might be competition for the two of you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just want to combine it with Randy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
God, how could you not want to?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we have Randy back here again, working on scheduling the D2D tour for Doug to cover our 20 counties.
Yeah, and see, isn't that a great idea?
That is. I love it.
Randy's saying, hey, let's put a couple of days together. Let's get the candidates together. Let's get them out, schedule events. D2's got, all those counties.
Yep.
And let's schedule a couple days and get all the candidates out. I think that's important.
That's really great.
I mean, Forlini and I got to be out there, but you've got, your Supreme Court, your university regents.
Sure.
They're all important positions. We got to get out together, and we're going to have to be that slate, really carry it, especially since we're not going to see a governor till August. So the rest of that slate can be building up strong.
Agreed. And I'll tell you something. We kind of experimented here in Livingston County last term. I kind of wondered. I have an individual, we'll just say, that voted for the very first time ever, roughly a couple years younger than I am, and the reason was because she was telling me it's because her neighbor or somebody she worked for or somebody was running for either school board or trustee. Okay. And she kind of talked to me and said, she's going to vote, and I was a little shocked that it had never happened, but I was of course encouraging.
Right.
And then she said, is there other people I should vote while I'm there? And I said, sure. And I just gave her, I gave her the palm card we give out, and I said, this is who you want. And I got to thinking, and I thought, how many other people vote for the first time? They don't know Tom Barrett. They don't know Mike Rogers. They don't know the governor, but they know their neighbor that's going to be a trustee. And that trustee said, hey, come going down to the down ticket. That down ballot also brings up, because I know that person voted for Tom Barrett and for the president and for Mike Rogers. So if we get more of those people, it that works both ways. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and and I have met so many candidates running for House Rep, House Senate, right? Which I was talking to somebody today. That's a local spot in a sense, right? Because it's just a certain area. But I've told all of them, let me know when your events are. I'll come out. I'll support you. We got to do that. We've got to, if we're going to talk about unity, then we got to talk about actually making sure that we're supporting all the candidates.
Agreed.
And if all these guys are out there, hey, I want to support them because I want to see them win too. And I'm not doing my job as a statewide candidate if I'm not helping these locals actually win. So, we were at an event last night. We're going to go see Jason up in the 35th tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
And so, for me, it's like, hey, we got to get Jason elected up there in the 35th. We got to help these other, guys and girls that are running across the state. And it helps you statewide because then they're getting to know people, but at the same point, your locals are getting that help as well. And
right.
If we're going to win, that's how we come together, is that we're all moving together and moving that right way. And so I want to make sure that us as statewide candidates don't forget that.
Agreed. Just a little housekeeping issue here. If you're posting on our page, I'm showing it. If I'm missing, if you don't see your comment coming up here, give me a few minutes. But if you're not seeing it, something's wrong. Go to one of the different channels to watch it. Livingston County Republican Party or Deborah Drick. Either one of those on Facebook generally allows the posting. So Jason Mickelberg says, Doug Lloyd, congratulations, brother. So
appreciate that.
Ron, really looking forward to finally having fair elections with you running the show, Law and Order, and maybe even a little common sense making a comeback. What a concept. It'll be refreshing to see things done straight for once. I may have to double check I'm still in the same state.
Well, hey, yeah. It's the fact you get to stay in Michigan.
I know.
That's the goal here, right?
I know.
Yeah.
How many raise your hand if you considered leaving. Yeah. It's been bad.
Well,
and I mean, had we lose again, I just do not understand.
Well, I'll tell you this, with this week being spring break and the amount of people I've tried to call in the last 2 days who've all said I'll touch base with you because I'm in Florida this week. Yeah, we need to work harder, otherwise they're going to all stay there after seeing how nice it was.
That's right. I know. So anyway, so yeah, so what, let's talk a little bit now that you had some ideas when you first got here, and then you've talked to approximately 1,100 people since the 8 months since you've been here. What policies or ideas or thoughts kind of came out of those 8 months? Anything in particular that you want to make sure you implement in the first say year?
I mean, we did, right? And that was something that we talked about because, I initially came out with ideas that I had. And then I realized that, I needed to let the people know who I was before I could actually get to those ideas. So we spent a lot of time just letting people know what I brought to the table. And, but we've always kept those ideas in the back of our heads. But my biggest point that I felt I had to do was when I was having those interactions with people is I had to listen. I had to hear what they were having to say, what was important, and so many things that we've actually seen end up on the news, whether it's probate issues where you're seeing guardians, that are rippling off senior
Oh my gosh, I know.
The amount of, Pete Lucido, who's the prosecutor in Macomb, runs a great, program for senior citizens on how not to get scammed. That's such a simple program that he's created, but something that, as I watch that program, I'm like, Pete, we got to put this across the state. It's something that you could actually take from an attorney general standpoint, but bring it down to your local prosecutors, and it'll actually allow them to have community engagement, going to senior citizen centers or senior citizen homes, Rotaries, simple things like that, bringing back that common sense. So when I look at it, it's really the aspect that, we have these units that are there in the Attorney General's office. I'm not sure how much they're actually being used, but they're going to be, because when you talk about, the Elder Abuse Task Force, or you talk about the voter unit, or you just talk about the criminal unit in general, human trafficking.
God.
The amazing part in this, and this is, these are good Republicans across the state. And I mean, it goes all the way from up north, to southeast corner, where they're asking me those same questions. Are we going to do something about that? That's one of the aspects that I'm already in conversations with the people I think are important to make sure that we're bringing forth the policies that are going to actually make sense, because I think everything just gets stuck in the mud. And, we're never going to move forward if we always get stuck in the mud. There's a way that you got to just have the leadership to say, we're going to rise above this. We're going to actually get it done.
And you have experience and willingness to work with the legislature to get that done. I know you know, but I cannot tell you how many people. I say this over and over. You don't understand how important it is. It's not like the Attorney General or the Secretary of State can just go in and say, "Okay, I dubbed thee the new law," and that's the way it is. You got to get it through the legislature, and they don't take kindly to being told what's up. So you got to be able to work with them, and I know that you do, and I think that that's huge. And of course, Tony being a former legislator, he also has that ability. So
and I mean, I think that's been the nice thing is that I've gotten to know so many of the legislators. I've started to have so many come on to our team during these last couple months, and what I've actually started seeing is that they're approaching me going, "Hey Doug, I got a bill, I'd like you to take a look at it, tell me what you think." That's exactly what you want, and that's what you want. Yeah, that's what we talk about when we're out on the road, is that these are what the legislators have been looking for. They're looking for that person who's going to stand with them. And I think we've just seen such silence from the Attorney General's office that they're looking for those good laws that are out there. Now, as the Attorney General, it's going to be my job to look at them too and go, your law doesn't help the people. And they probably won't like it when I say that as well. But if they're good laws, then our job as the Attorney General's office is to work with them, help get them passed, because we want Michigan to be better, not somehow get stuck in the past.
That's right. All right, so we have here Ben Meyer from St. Joe.
Look at that.
Yeah, he's out here in the other room, actually. He showed up here just at the end. Congratulations to the cool dad.
Yeah.
The 5th District and St. Joseph County are with you all the way. Love you, buddy.
Yeah,
great guy, Ben. He came out and had dinner with us last weekend.
That's right.
It was
Ben,
awesome.
Ben is a great guy running St. Joe County. He's now the 5th District chair. Taking over for Todd Gilman over there. So he's a great guy, and I tell you, we make fun of that. That
I must not have anything to do. Good.
Yeah.
How did you get here? How did you have time to get here? I'm thrilled.
Yeah, with that young dad too. So he gets it all.
Yeah. All right, Madam Chair, both you and the future Attorney General, individuals who are very wise. Good job there. Thank you, Mark. All right, what do we got here? Aaron Curry. Appreciate the work Doug has put in. For those of us learning more about him, can he share his background, legal experience, and what specifically led him to run for Attorney General? Would love to understand his qualifications and vision. Well, we know what he wasn't doing here 8 months ago, but okay, go ahead.
All right, I'll give it to you quickly on that, Aaron. For me, I've been an attorney for 34 years. For the last 30, I've been a prosecutor. Since 2013, I've been the elected prosecutor in Eaton County. That's still my day job. This I like to call is my side hustle. So I've been elected 4 times as a Republican in a county that is very purple. And, and I've led an office. I've done that for the last decade. And, for me, when I got in, I looked around and said, you know what? Experience matters. And we've had it. We saw it in that office. The Attorney General's office used to be what I'd call the creme de la creme of public service. If you wanted to be a public servant, that is where you wanted to end up. I don't feel that, people feel that way anymore. There's a lot of no trust for that office.
Agreed.
And so seeing it at ground level, being a guy who's actually prosecuted people, taken drug dealers, murderers, rapists, and, even corrupt politicians to trial, I felt that, experience was something that we needed. Leadership was something that we needed. And so, no one asked. I wasn't propped up. I just kind of looked around and, kind of that old grassroots effort, right? That you see a problem, what do? You don't complain about it. You stick your neck out and volunteer. So 8 months ago, I came on Deb's podcast and volunteered. And that's what I've been doing ever since, is volunteering. So, I'd ask for your support, Aaron, because that's, that's what we're doing, is just moving forward on the aspect that we're going to bring leadership back to that office. And, we're going to get rid of those words like political lawfare and political activism, and get back just to, understanding the Constitution, understanding the rule of law.
You can't do any better than that. I hope he answered your questions, Aaron. Londa Gadd, I will help you, Doug, deliver yard signs. That's always a good person to have.
Londa's been, endorsed me. Privileged to have her endorsement, and thank you, Londa, for all your support.
She's terrific. This guy is all over the place. Absolutely the motor we need to win this thing in November. Let's go, Lloyd.
That's right there. There's another young man that is running for office, down in the Allegan County area. And, Kenny's just got an engine on him that is out there doing the good stuff, and so
right.
so proud to be out there helping him out
Thanks
as well.
for watching, Kenny. Londa agrees. Experience is extremely important. Oh, okay, there you go. You have his support. So
yeah, appreciate that.
Good. And here's Randy again. Experience matters. That was the tagline I used for several months while whipping votes for you and Tony. Yeah, that would be those would be the big two right there. The big two words. Experience does matter. I mean, you don't want to. I think we started off on this very conversation, and one of our first conversations ever was, you don't want to go there and then learn how to be a prosecutor. You sort of want to.
That is a statement that I brought out that we can't afford to have training wheels, right? We only have 8 years. You can't, and I believe we've seen what training wheels gets us. It's time that we actually get back to I want to see the people actually matter. The Mike Cox, the Shooties of the world. They ran that office with just an ability for people to understand that integrity and accountability mattered, and it's important that we get back to that. It's no different than Ferlini feels the same way about the Secretary of
That's
State.
right.
We are seeing that happen. That you got two guys who actually didn't have to run, but did run because we knew that we could make the place better.
Right. Let me just shut my noise maker off there. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to. Pardon me while it's about me again for a minute. Here we go.
Gosh. Oh,
I've never seen Deb in a t-shirt, but it's a great t-shirt. I told you I never wear them. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to go to a commercial. We'll be right back with a couple of surprises here. Just hang on just a second while I find a good one.
Ready to make your real estate dreams a reality? Meet Lisa R., your trusted expert in Livingston County. With 25 years in the real estate marketplace, she offers a seamless, stress-free experience. As a Real Estate One agent, Lisa has access to a network of over 2,000 agents and a one-stop shop for mortgage, title, and insurance services. Call Lisa R. at 734-260-7277 or visit her at Real Estate One in Brighton. Let her help you find your dream home or sell your property with confidence.
Welcome to The Right Side.
And with me now is the brand new 7th District Chair, District 3, Livingston County Commissioner, Frank Sample. So welcome, Frank.
You're very active in the American Legion.
Correct.
You're very active in the VFWs.
This ideology is very damaging to the students who are told, if you get this surgery and make do the social transition, the medical transition, then you'll be happy and all your problems will be solved. Learned so much.
I'll bet. That's some institutional knowledge right there.
And we have, as a special guest, as I said earlier, we have Kevin Rinke with us. Welcome, Kevin. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Go Boge. Thanks, Kelly.
There are no shortage of them.
We love meeting new people.
Right, yes.
It's in good shape, so that's good news.
That safeness is not afforded to every citizen. They are special.
There's a difference between men and women. There's a biological difference, and it's time for us to stand up for our girls.
He went through, and he came back with a report said there's no way Detroit can meet its obligations on the tax base.
Yes.
So is this DEI focused just on the high school, or are they talking about all
district, the entire district?
Maybe that's kind of normal. It's really not. There tends to be little fiefdoms with different police agencies and police versus fire and fire versus EMS and blah blah blah. That's not the case here. So Livingston County is very fortunate.
Hey, not too long ago, in many of our lifetimes, Detroit was the 3rd largest city in America.
Oh yeah,
3.2 million citizens.
It's been a great experience. I mean, I have no regrets about moving here.
There's an old saying that the road will get you elected, the jail will get you unelected. So, to give you an idea.
You have to have a reason to change for change to be enacted. And we're back, and I have my assistant back here with us today. Prosecutor Carolyn Henry came to join us. She was on that original podcast. As a matter of fact, just to go back 8.5 months, she kind of told me that that she had a colleague in a couple counties over that was going to be running for AG, and she just wanted to let me know, and she also said, would you like him on the podcast at some point? And I said, well, when's he going to announce? And she told me, and I said, why doesn't he announce on the show? We can just make it a big thing. And she says, I'll ask him. And the next thing I got is it's a go. So Carolyn was here with our very first, and also stayed after while I lectured Doug into compliance with the "why are you talking to attorneys" lecture.
I did hear the lecture of you're talking too much like an attorney, Doug.
No, you're talking like an attorney, and you're to attorneys, and I said, attorneys are rarely delegates, Doug. So you gotta bring it down.
You know
like
what?
I understand.
There were 10 solid Republican prosecutors at that convention.
There were.
You know, I was so honored to have them.
There
were a few sheriffs there. It was, that was an amazing thing to see. An amazing thing to see your local people coming out and being a part of that state party.
My local people were absolutely on fire
they
that
were,
night.
You,
they were,
well, living,
they
yeah.
were we're always revved about something.
Yeah,
so. Lucky you. We pointed it at you.
Yeah,
we aimed it at you.
It was a good red that they were pointed.
We sent it your way.
Yeah.
Jason, I'm so impressed with Doug. I brought him an issue about vet remains being left in funeral homes. Ew. Boy, that's not good. I told Doug we need to get these remains to the VA. He came right up to me about 2 months ago and said he's going to go all over the state, and people are loving the idea. Legislation to require funeral homes to turn over unclaimed veteran remains to the VA. Oh, yeah. That's
Isn't
brilliant.
that amazing? But you know what? When Jason brought that to me, I just sat there going, really? This isn't a thing already? But I it's one of those things that, Jason and I've talked a few times. We're getting with the funeral association. We'll get with our local legislators, get a bill, and we'll put something together. But those veterans, right? I always say, aren't they the ultimate public servant? If you think of a veteran, they're the ultimate public servant. And then to end up, with it, they've done this, lived this life, and they end up alone like that. Jason goes out and actually just shows up, to the funeral for them, and it's important.
Bless you, Jason. For
Jason's
that.
a wonderful person, and and when he brought this to me, I was like, wow, that's an amazing idea. So Jason and I will get that done.
Well, I'm looking forward, Jason. I'm looking forward to meeting you and thanking you in person for doing that. That's awesome. Randy Guppy agrees. Training wheels got us Dana Messel.
Randy's on fire.
Randy's a regular on this show.
Well, I see all these donut posts with Randy,
I know.
so he's going to have to come visit Livingston County.
Yeah, bring that big old thing of apple fritter. I really love to see the state turn around. I feel like we've given it a lot over the years under what I'll generously call a creative leadership. I'm genuinely looking forward to the possibility of a Republican-controlled Michigan across the board, with you stepping in as Attorney General, law, order, and maybe even a little common sense making a comeback? ? Imagine that. Praise God. Might finally feel like we recognize our own state again. Ron, note the choir robes, dude. I enjoy that.
Yeah, that's right there.
We got Doug Lloyd and Henry in one podcast. Back again. This is
back again.
We've been there, done that. Yeah. Been there, done that. Wearing the t-shirt.
Yeah. And I'm
celebrating.
This
time we're
celebrating. I'm smiling this time.
You were so serious. I know we just like anything else. The first time you start doing something, you're all serious and everything else. We're like, I know. We
had very strict rules. I remember the Debtrick rules when we came in, and we were very strictly given rules that you've got to look straight into the camera. You can't look to the side. I'm going to kick you under the table if you do this.
I've already been kicked 3 times tonight. 3 times tonight I've been kicked.
I think Ralph Rebant, gets the record for the most kicks.
I think Ralph admits he did that.
Yeah,
too.
I know. He's and Mike Cox said that too. Oh, look, I got kicked again. Well, look, I give you I give you one freebie, but after that, you're done. Nudged. Kick. It's funny too, because if you ever watch the one I was interviewing Mike Rogers, you'll see him start to talk and he'll look at me and then he'll start laughing as he looks back at the camera because I'm kicking him. So anyway, so Carolyn, tell me, this is your second time here with Doug. Tell us kind of why you brought Doug to me the first place, like from your perspective.
I think we've all seen it during this campaign. I couldn't be more proud to support Doug Lloyd as the candidate for Attorney General. I am extremely familiar with how he runs his prosecutor's office, how he represents victims of crime. In some of our initial discussions when he had called and talked about running for Attorney General, I just know that in the cases that he presents to the courts, his primary focus is on victims of crime. It is on law, it is on order, it is representing his community to the best of his abilities and sometimes even better. And so I couldn't think of a better candidate to run for the Chief Law Enforcement Office position for the state of Michigan. And I've just seen how he's run this campaign, how he's represented all of the people that have been supporting him. But more importantly, whenever anybody comes to ask you to endorse them, you always kind of take a little pause or a second guess. When Doug had called me and he had said that he was running, it was without a second that I said, absolutely, I will endorse you. I am extremely familiar with how he represents Eaton County as the elected prosecutor there, how he represents all of the prosecutors throughout the state of Michigan. He has been a voice at the levels of just representing us in so many different fashions. And so I appreciate the work that he's done for the prosecutors throughout the state of Michigan up to this point, and I look forward to having him serve as the Attorney General.
Well, we have here's Rob here. Carolyn is a Livingston County gem lover. We all do.
Thank you.
We all do. I know how to pick my assistants.
All right.
So, but and I'll tell you, I have had some. Carolyn and I have had some intense and long conversations about the Lloyd campaign. Is that you were left out of it?
Yeah, thank goodness. I probably would have had my feelings hurt if I had been part of it.
We made a lot of decisions on your behalf.
I appreciate that.
But we and Carolyn, she has just a passion for how good you were as an attorney, or good you are as I guess not were, you're not dead.
Not yet. We're still living.
We haven't killed you yet.
Yeah.
We have, but how good you are as a prosecutor and what a great attorney general you'll make. So, I enjoyed listening to that from somebody who knew and somebody that has that. I also remember, Carolyn was 50% of the reason I sort of started giving you a serious look, and the other one was Jay. Jay's been an attorney for 50 years, and he listened and said, this guy here, I've listened to him, he knows the law. He's not making stuff up as he goes along. He's not blowing smoke up anybody's appendages. He's just telling you exactly what, and everything he says is correct. That is the law. He's not taking liberties with, I'm going to do this as I get elected or whatever. He says, no, he said he heard you say at one point, well, you can't do it that way because that's, but you can do it this way. And he just said he respected that because he's right. He can't do it. You can't do it that way. If you follow the law, this is what you have to do. So, it was, that was the other side of, why I might have jumped in head first here. So, between the two, really, really good one.
Well, I tell you that, when I reached out, when I decided I was going to do this, or as I was deciding, I reached out to, Carolyn and, all the other prosecutors who ended up endorsing me, asking, do I bring something to the table that they can support? Right? Because I feel you got to have that because there's that such a close personal working relationship. The Attorney General is not Carolyn's boss. The Attorney General is there to support. Because I can tell you, when people go, well, the Attorney General is your boss. No, this current Attorney General is not my boss. That's not happening. And so, but, as I talked, I worked through it with all the prosecutors of, could we be there at that spot and to just be honored, to be able to have the ability to say, hey, 63 prosecutors, to go to so many counties and have it where, I'd be able to say, hey, Carolyn Henry endorses me. Have the sheriffs, Mike Murphy endorses me. Those were important things. And what I've also had the ability to do is in a lot of these counties is that, sometimes people don't actually understand what your local prosecutor does. Well, to have an outsider who is a prosecutor be able to come in and talk about it, all of a sudden elevates the oh, wow. Y'all get it, right? You get how important Carolyn is. But there's some counties where they don't get it.
I'm
But
Deb's
then-
assistant.
Yeah. I mean,
good ones are hard to find.
You're right up there, Carolyn. You're just a step away from the, from this side of the podcast. But to be able to go out there and and talk to people and say, this is how important your sheriff is. This is how important your prosecutor is. And from an outsider perspective, people start all of a sudden, it gave a new level of respect. And so, and to just have that, have that ability and have those people come and support. I think that's something that, really says something. And because that's what I tell people. I'm like, I'm the last guy who got in the race on either side, right? And you have prosecutors on the other side. Anybody else could have gone and asked for the support.
That's right.
But I'm the one who, I'm the one that when I stepped into the arena came with all these supporters. And I call them my grassroots. Because you think about it, if you have your most respected people, your sheriff, your prosecutor, your delegates, from each county who are willing to come out and support you, well, now you got a built-in base for the general election who's going to be there, and be willing to help you do all those things that we're going to have done across the state.
Awesome. All right, we got. Look here, Lance Griffin, who is next to you two, is my new BFF. He was on my show last week, and we just.
I was so happy to meet Lance at convention.
I just love him. After losing straw poll after straw poll, insert the word fake and.
It's all right.
That's another.
Yeah, it's another podcast.
Yeah, rigged straw poll after rigged straw poll. Doug never stopped working, never stopped talking to delegates, never stopped wanting to debate. He never quit. That grit and determination will be a winning formula in November. Lance totally agreed here.
That's that's the same way as Lance. That 10x. That 10x is the most important thing I think we can do. We get those people out there that are low propensity voters. I talk about it every place I go. Have you met Lance? If you haven't, got to get him up to your place and talk to him, because he's got a formula to get that 1 million voters that we need to guarantee that we win in what, in my opinion, is the most important election.
Well, and it's not, the thing is, it's not just, low propensity voters still says to me, if you just use those terms, it's like, let's go out and talk to a bunch of people we don't know because they're low propensity and try to get them on board. His is not, his program's different. It is, you talk to people you already do know.
Yeah.
Here's the
friends.
list. Yeah, these are your friends.
Yeah.
So it's like amazing. So just so you know, nobody can call me tomorrow, because tomorrow I did promise Lance for Thursday's EC meeting, I'm going to do a quick 10X, and I'm going to have everybody. So I'm putting together this little training for 10X. I spelunked on it myself in between doing things for you. And, so.
For Kelly, for your assistant.
That's what she needs an assistant for.
That's exactly.
So anyway, so I did it. So we're going to be doing it. So if you don't know about 10X, show up at the meeting. I'm going to do a quick little training. So I'm also promised him, I gave him my word, and I'm going to do it. I'm also going to put together like a Zoom kind of training, a little training and just put it out for delegates and people. Now that the delegates their job is just done, right? What else do you got to do this summer? Let's do some 10X work.
Well, they can knock some doors.
They can.
And there's some signs.
And you just finished telling people, if you don't know 10X, go learn it. Now
I want them to do that too. But while they are out meeting and talking to their neighbors, he can, they can
in between.
Yeah, they can do all of it. They can bring,
we can do it all. So so anyway, so I'm going to get that done, and then we can call people and tell them to vote for Doug. Is that better?
Right. That's right. It's just a big thing.
It is. All right. Well, we're going to take another quick break here, and I got another visitor here that wants to show up. So let me put you in another commercial here, and let's talk about last year's 2A.
This whole town could be red by the end of the day. If you feel alright, we could throw it and drive.
think my life is weird. we brought another guest, the Rob Rodriguez Pelzari from 2A and past chair of the immediate past chair of Livingston County Republican Party.
Yes.
So we were talking earlier about you, Rob, about how you scared everybody to death when you came flying off that stage and right after Doug spoke at 2A last year and just spoke right up and said, "That's it. I know what I heard and I liked it."
They had no idea what in the heck I was going to do.
No, we never do, but that's okay.
That's true.
That
But
was
you
just
know,
another day.
I had just gotten out of a great conversation with Carolyn talking about Doug, and she was able to, and Carolyn's one of those people that when she talks about somebody, if she's truly excited about somebody, she can tell you all the facts, like super fast. So I felt really good about that. And Doug, you're not really new to me either. I mean, Eaton County has a 2A group there also. So I knew about Doug, but I didn't know about his character. And, you know, Carolyn was able to plug that in. Deb is real persuasive. I mean, arm twisting, full Nelsons, all kinds of stuff like that. But it just felt right.
I got to hold back chili for you. That's
And, you know, it was the first time I'd ever gone up on stage and said I was going to endorse anybody.
I know. You shook all of us up.
Yeah, and I don't know I'll ever do it again, but it was important. I felt like that was what we needed to do. And, you know, that's kind of, Doug, that's kind of the momentum you've had the whole time.
Yeah.
People are behind you. You have the Tao of the people. The people are behind you. We know we're going to get great things from you, and we know you're great for Michigan. So,
and you know, I tell you, Rob, that was an honor because you know I was honored to just be able to come speak. Right, you know, a month into the campaign, trying to get out to everywhere, just trying to get known. You know, getting to know Rob, and then all of a sudden, he pops up on that stage, and I thought he was going to throw me off. I mean, you know, your 2 minutes are up, get off the stage. And
I moved quick for a bit.
You did. You were quick. Yeah, you were.
I learned that to get to the food line fast.
That's exactly. You did it. Yeah, you popped up, and I'm like, all right, my time's done. And all of a sudden, you're like, I endorse you, and I was like, thank you, sir.
No, I could just feel it. I could just feel it. And you know what? Sometimes you get a good feeling about a candidate. And then as things go on, you know, it starts to wane and you start learning more about them. That's never happened with you.
You have that moment. What
what in the heck was I thinking, right? But never with Doug. From the very beginning, you've only impressed us more and more and more. And, you know, we're not trying to make you blush, but I just want you to understand how much we appreciate you and how much we're behind you.
Well, and I thank you. Hearing those words from you, you know, getting that, you know, from your wife as well. That's so important to me, and that's what it's about, right? I mean, we're building this family. It's really it is. You know, Rob, just like I talked about earlier, Rob is another one who's going to be a friend for life. You know, whether we had won the convention or not. You know, I was going to stay in touch, you know, with Rob, and you know, and that's what we've built across the state, and you know, that's what we want to continue. I think that's where we're going to win. Right? Is that you know the people are just there, you know, that they want to work together. I know you do. You know, I know the important things that are important to you. Obviously, depth, you know, the things that are important to her, and I think. You guys are just like a microcosm of what we see across the whole entire state.
Lots of energy here.
Yeah, we just got to bring it together. We got to bring it together, and I really think, you know, and I mean, I know talking for Ferlini, he owes me again, you know, mentioning his name, but Ferlini and I think we
get $35 each time.
Yeah, each time. Yeah, he's multi-syllable, so I think we can speak more than that.
Lloyd just shoots right out.
So I'll text him this afterwards. But you know, it's one of those things where it's like he and I, you know, we got to push it. We got to push all those others to just get out there, and it's going to be people like both of you that are going to really help us do that.
You have a message, you know who you're giving your message to, and you got to plan how to get there. That's much more than I can say for the Dems. I feel really good about it. I know everybody I know is going to go door knocking, and so you know we all need to have that mindset. And Deb's gonna start cracking the whip pretty soon, and it's gonna be door knocking Saturday, church on Sunday, door knocking Saturday. Okay, and we're gonna all just go out there and get her done.
And I think how you have to look at it is it's good exercise.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I tell people. I was in the best shape of my life every time I got out and knocked doors.
I know.
You know, you're knocking those doors every day. You know, I was as fit as I ever was when I was knocking doors. So.
No.
And for anybody who knocks doors with me, we go to breakfast beforehand. Okay, because that's important to me. Coffee, eggs, bacon.
You gotta get loaded up.
Yeah,
you gotta
get it. Yeah.
No, I look at. A matter of fact, I want to also share. If I haven't yet, I haven't told you about it. April 25th, we kick off our 48th district candidate Brian Ignatowski. Livingston County's huge. He's a big priority for us. Right here, April 25th. Yeah, April 25th. We're going to be doing a. He's going to kick off his walking, and that's at 10 o'clock in the morning here at the Victory Center. But at 8:30, the bunny's going to be cooking, so I'll have a big breakfast for everybody. We're going to do pancakes and eggs and sausage and
Can you put bunny seasoning in bacon?
That was my question, Rob.
Yeah.
Do bunny seasoning go on the pancakes?
Home fries, honey.
I like that.
I like it.
You will lick your plate, trust me.
All right, you got
me in there.
The bunny seasoning on the home fries. Trust me on this one. Yeah. So anyway, we will have that. So so that'll be on April 25th. Starting at 8:30 for breakfast and then 10 o'clock. So we might be able to do one for you, maybe.
For everybody who does not know what the bunny seasoning is there a bunny seasoning commercial
we're not
on this?
We don't use, no. Yes, I do. Yes, I do the
We should go out with the bunny seasoning commercial.
Yeah, maybe we will. Yeah, look at it. Amanda, hi Amanda. I love how Mr. Lloyd is still hustling. Yeah. Hey, it's only half the race is done.
Yeah.
So Amanda, great run. Yes. Great run. Yep. I love your character. And please, I saw a lot of good qualities in your person. I want you to continue looking at the Republican Party and a seat somewhere where you can run. I just see a future for you. So stick in there, okay? Because you made a lot of equity in this last run. Good job.
This is for you, Deb. I'm so glad to endorse Doug Lloyd. Yes.
There you go. Nice.
You did spell that right. Okay, good for you. Thank you, Amanda. And seriously, I mean, you just heard Rob. Don't go away. I told her the other day, I'm going to sit down with her and pick her next thing, and then we're going to start making plans. And then this time, if she doesn't listen to me, I'm going to smack her. I'm just not going to let her go. God bless you all, and thank you, Deb. Jennifer, I was hoping you would show up. Missed ya. I thought you were going to come by. All right, so then we have Londa. Did you actually see the straw poll in person, or are you assuming it was rigged? You're assuming I would verify first. Londa, do I strike you as a person that says things like that without knowing? We'll talk about it. I wrote an article about it. You can go read about it. You did. Go read the right side and read the article. Yes, there was proof. I would never do anything like that without knowing. So anyway, yes, okay, so that's competent questions. All right, well, we're gonna go back, and I've got one more person I want to try to sneak in here before we call it quits. So, Rob, well, thanks for sitting in here. So let's.
Good to see everybody again.
Yeah, wait a minute. Watch this.
Whoa.
All right.
Everybody's gone. Where'd they all go?
No, they can hear you. All right.
Oh. Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning is a fantastic new blend of herbs and vegetables made in Livingston County. Add a tablespoon to homemade breads, soups, stews, meat, poultry, vegetables, casseroles, sauces, and more. To order, email Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning at gmail.com or message the Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning Facebook page. It's time to divorce you or marry me chicken and take advantage of free delivery in and around Livingston County. Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning, the only seasoning you need.
Why should you join the Livingston County Republican Party?
Why, you ask?
Yeah, why?
Why join?
The Republican Party is the party of common sense.
Common sense. Republicans support the Constitution.
Republicans protect your rights.
We fight to keep your children safe. We fight to keep boys and men out of girls' and women's sports.
But we fight to keep boys out of girls' restrooms.
We fight for you.
What does the Republican Party do?
We help Republican candidates get elected.
Why is it important to elect Republicans?
Why is that important?
Why?
Tell me, why is that important?
Livingston County is one of the safest counties in Michigan.
Livingston County has one of the lowest crime rates in the state of Michigan.
Livingston County has the lowest tax millage rate of all 83 counties.
Republicans work to balance the budget.
Republican legislators vote against raising your taxes.
Republican elected officials believe in transparency.
Republican clerks run elections with integrity.
Republican trustees protect your rights.
Republicans support our veterans.
Who can join?
If you are conservative, we want you in our party.
All conservatives are welcome at our table.
Join our activities.
Join the fun.
Become a member.
Join us now.
Hi, I'm Deb Drick, Chair of Livingston County Republican Party. Our conservative message has been very well received in Livingston County, and I'm so happy to share with you that people are stepping up right and left to help. The only thing's missing is you. Come join our mission. Come join our fun. Go to livingstonrepublicans.com and click join. You'll be glad you did.
And we're back. And I'd like to introduce Mr. We've been picking on him during the commercial. So Mr. Ben Meyer who was the, what the heck is going on with?
Myers with an S on the end.
I know, it's Myers. Yes, I know. But all of a sudden, our faces got all mottled on there. I didn't know what happened. It changed. So.
Well, congratulations to Mr. Lloyd here on your winning the endorsement convention.
And, we were talking a minute ago, but Ben Myers is the chair of the St. Joe County, and now District 5, I hear?
That is correct.
That's correct. When did that happen?
Oh, gosh, I want to say the date that we were on the convention floor, I was on day like 10 or 12, so it just recently came to fruition, right. Yeah. So.
Okay, so you got introduced to Mr. Lloyd here, how or when?
So Doug actually made an appearance at the St. Joe County Executive Committee meeting. Gosh, I want to say sometime, I was going to say it was November maybe. Yeah. He stopped in. We hit it off right away. Obviously, Doug's experience, his personality, his desire to serve. He has a heart for servant leadership. He knows how to get it done. And so we just kind of hit it off real quick, and very proud to be sitting next to him and to have endorsed him in advance of the endorsement convention. And I'm excited to do everything that I can to support him moving forward on our way to November. So awesome. 2026, let's get it done.
Well, we are, right. We're thrilled that you made the trip here. From St. Joe to Hamburg, Michigan is not a quick little bunny hop. So we appreciate you putting in the time to come check out. I know we had dinner the other night. You had mentioned you want to come to one of our meetings. So we're looking forward to having you guys as maybe our sister city out there.
Yeah, I appreciate the invitation, and I would kill to have a set of headquarters like this. If you haven't been here to Livingston, come check it out. So a pretty cool model.
Yeah, well, no, we have a pretty I don't know, what is your makeup, Republican to Dems out there?
I would say we're somewhere, based on our voting records, somewhere around 60 to 65% Republican.
Okay, all right, so
we're a pretty red county, pretty conservative. Yeah. We fall in the Steve Carra district, so that speaks a lot.
There we are.
Right there.
Okay,
so
done. Yes.
You know the majority.
Yes. Well, we're really glad you came out here. Let's take a couple of these here. Oh, Jennifer, no, you're back in the hospital. I wondered why you weren't here. Well, let us pray for you. What kind of next steps would you like to see out of Doug as far as this campaign?
Well, Doug, I would tell you the number one, at least from my experience in 2024, the most successful component is a door-knocking campaign. So people need to help carry this message to their neighbors, to their friends. It's going to be very important to just touch as many people as possible. So continue to parade around, and I would encourage our delegates everywhere to commit to stepping up and helping to share this message. Be intentional in your community, and let's do everything we can to try to turn around what we've experienced with this witless administration. Obviously, it's been nothing but poor acting, poor behavior, and Dana Nessel has only been a part of the problem. She's never been a part of the solution. And so I'm excited to see an individual step into the office that's going to enforce the rule of law, someone that really is going to step above party politics and do the right thing. And so, Doug, whatever we can do to support you. I would love to hear from you on what we could do as county chairs and as delegates
that's a good idea.
To be intentional in helping to equip you for this journey.
Yeah, and I really think, I mean, we're hearing it from you, Ben, Rob, obviously Deb. It's going to be, I like that idea of the delegates. You think about it, there's 6,000 delegates across the state. Those are 6,000 people that should want to be good Republicans and be out and be involved. And that's, once again, at that grassroots level. Door knocking is a grassroots thing. That's really where you see it. And we don't have to make it complicated. It's your community. Just like Deb talked about, Lance's 10X, getting out there and talking to your neighbors, door knocking in your neighborhood, door knocking your precinct, being able to do that and express who the candidates we're bringing forward. We've given you the opportunity by it being in March for you to get to know. If you're not knowing who your candidates are, then this is something you've got to fix up on. Every one of your candidates has got a website. I've got a website. Ferlini's got a website. The Secretary of State. I mean, the Supreme Courts. Everybody's got a website. They've got them up on MIGOP. You can go there, and find all the candidates there that that are going to be your ticket. And we need to talk about all of them. We need to be out there letting people know that this is a slate that can move forward. Every one of these positions is important. We need to take all of them back. Don't let any of them be discounted. That's how we're going to change our schools back, by making sure that, that we get our university regents in there. That's how we bring back things to normal. We want to see the Supreme Court actually get back to just being umpires and not legislators. Mm-hmm. Well, then we got to elect, good conservative, Supreme Court justices.
I'm so excited to see
we got
Judge Michael Warren.
Yeah, two great candidates that are there, right?
I've heard other things about good things about the other one, but yes, yeah. I am so excited about. I've known Judge Michael Warren for several years, and his work in the Patriot Week and his author, his writings, and so he will be. Just to remind everybody, he will be speaking at, and he will be at our Lincoln Day dinner on Cinco de Mayo. We're hoping that we have to get a confirmation. I believe you're going to be there too.
Are we serving tacos?
The best taco bar,
Awesome.
Best buffet ever.
Will it be huge?
It will be. Hello. Have you seen my dinners?
Yeah. I mean, your spread tonight is pretty well, but that goes back to it, right? I mean, we've got to get all of these candidates forward. Yep. We got to talk about all these candidates. They want to get out and work. Let's help them work.
Well, before we put your thing up here, we had a pretty important post come by. Look at that. Macomb County Republican Party endorses you. Woohoo! That's a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you very
All right.
much,
love to see that. Thank you. And then we have here, let's put this up. This is where you go if you want to endorse or get a sign or get one of these big comfy shirts that I never wear that Rob.
I'm still looking for a hat. I need a hat.
I know. What happened to the hat?
I got to get to the Doug Lloyd store.
Where's
the hat?
Nick, we need hats.
Nick, I need a hat, buddy.
A hat, buddy. So, so there's where you want to get to him. Let's see.
And there's Jenny with MIGOP is giving you, that'll get you all to every one of our
the candidates.
All that slate.
Here,
is
let me do the more. There we go. Yeah. I know candidates.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. So that's a great place. So Nick, you got to order more hats, dude. That's all there is to it. So anyway, so when you want to get a hold of Doug, so all right, well, we're gonna go one more commercial and then we're gonna wrap up. So we'll be back shortly. Thanks Ben for coming on down.
Thanks for the invitation.
And we will. Let's see here.
Welcome to the right side. And with me now is the brand new 7th District Chair, District 3, Livingston County Commissioner, Frank Sample. So welcome, Frank. You're very active in the American Legion.
Correct.
You're very active in the VFWs.
This ideology is very damaging to the students who are told if you get this surgery and make do the social transition, the medical transition, then you'll be happy and all your problems will be solved. Learned so much.
I'll bet. That's some institutional knowledge right there.
And we have, as a special guest, as I said earlier, we have Kevin Reiki with us. Welcome, Kevin. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Go Bode. Thanks, Kelly. There are no shortage of them. We love meeting new people.
Right, yes.
It's in good shape, so that's good news.
That safeness is not afforded to every citizen. They are
Agreed.
special.
There's a difference between men and women. There's a biological difference, and it's time for us to stand up for our girls.
He went through and he came back with a report said there's no way Detroit can meet its obligations on the tax base.
Oh, he's terrible. He really is. Okay, well, we're just came up here to wrap it up. Yeah, I've run out of people that want to talk about him, so we're gonna.
Really? Wow, that's how we're going to end this program.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Look, I'm wearing one of your t-shirts.
Yes, you are.
I cooked for you, and I'm wearing your t-shirt.
Yes, you
What
did.
else do you want?
Oh,
Oh
so
my
much.
gosh. So yeah, we have I mean, yeah, I kid Doug. I've spent 8.5 months kidding with Doug. And I just so you don't feel sorry for him or anything, let me tell you, he gives it back as good as he gets. Yes. Oh, I'm
completely
just
respectful.
singe, man. It's so they got scars. So anyway, so yes, I could not be happier, Doug won. I mean, you can hear my normal voice is not, it's much hoarser, and I'm coughing a lot. It's from all the hooting and hollering I did when he won. I was pretty excited. We all were.
It was a good
So
weekend. Good
it was a
weekend.
great weekend.
Yeah.
It was a great weekend, and started off a little nervous, and everybody, I mean, you never know, but I'll tell you, I was encouraged by was there a point where you knew or you were sure you were going to take it?
Nope.
No.
Not until I saw not until I saw the numbers.
Yeah.
We kept, even after the votes were in, people still wanted to talk to us, and I did not stop. Because, if you had a question, I was going to make sure I answered it. So
Yeah.
I think I finally, people pulled me up near the front, and that was, I didn't have anybody to speak to then, except Tom Barrett. I finally saw Tom, so I got to talk.
Did you try to convince him of something?
Yeah, I tried to. I was having to say, what do you mean, Tom, that you had to stay in Washington D.C. and didn't get back here in time to vote for me? That vote could have mattered. So yeah. So, but he fortunately got
could have been 64%.
I might have been.
Yeah. Gosh.
But I mean, I was lucky to see Tom. He's our guy, right?
Sure.
And I mean, that's another one, right? You talk about it. I want to make sure
endorsement that had some weight to it.
Yeah, but it's somebody. I want to make sure I'm there for Tom.
Mm-hmm.
This season we got to get out for him.
Right.
Make sure that he's crushing it.
Right.
Again too.
So, well, again, I cannot. I just can't. Thank you enough for coming out here. Great show. You had a good. I'm only as good as my guest. So thanks, Ray. It was very very nice meeting you. Let's see. God bless you. You're gonna be the next. Yes, I agree, Mark.
All right, good seeing you,
And
Mark.
Ray, that's what I admire most about Doug. He wants to make sure he answers every question. Yes, he does. Yes.
Rayann's just saying I talk a lot, I think is what it is. But I appreciate her being
I
nice
thought
about it.
I was just gonna say I was much nicer than I might have been. Okay, heard enough from you today. We're done.
All right, we're done.
No, he's listen. No, he's a good guy, and he means he has a good. His intentions are all in the right spot, and that's what we need. We need somebody. We need the straight arrow. Whether or not he can tell a joke or not, it doesn't matter. I guess.
Wow, that's how we end it.
He has got a great sense of humor too. I can poke on him all day long, even though it's usually in defense moods. But that's okay. Anyway, all right. Well, we're gonna Doug. May Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. That's the next. It's a minimum next time you're out here.
Yes,
that'll
exactly.
be for our dinner, and we'll look forward to having you there. And no square dancing this time, but we might drag you up for a lane dance.
Okay.
That's why you pulled.
You know what? You keep telling me that's why I won, because I got out in square dance.
You got up in square dance.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys missed it, but at our Reagan Day, we had a Western theme, and we had a square dance caller, and I linked up, so let's go.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God, okay. So we got up in square dance. It was fun. So anyway, we're gonna have our Cinco de Mayo. You'll be in there. He'll be invited to speak. So and I will be shocked if Nick isn't there with him. So all you Nick fans out there can show up, and I'll make sure he has some hats for us. So, all right. Well, any last words you want to say about November or coming forward? Or?
You know what? Thank you to everyone. Thank you for the last 8 months, and
Mm-hmm.
we're honored to that you supported us, and and we're here to keep going, and we're going to need all of your support these next months as we get to November.
Yes, I agree. So we're going to be there for you. So all right, next we'll see you next Tuesday, everybody. Have a great